What's up guys, Tony from Tucker Speed here. We're in the dyno room today. I got a bike that came in, we're going to tune it today. The bike came in with an HPI air cleaner, HPI exhaust. We installed a Woods 22-XD with S&S plate and pump, and also an S&S 55mm manifold. We did do a base pull to see kind of where the power numbers were before, and I'm going to jump into tuning this thing, and then we'll talk about the numbers and what it does afterwards. So let's jump in and get this thing tuned. All right guys, so we are all done tuning the bike. This one went a little different direction than what we had originally planned. So what ended up happening is I ended up doing a full tune session on it and got all done, got everything dialed, got the fuel dialed, got the timing and everything kind of dialed in. And what we ended up with was kind of this gnarly torque dip. This chart here, you can kind of see this blue line right here. You can see where this dips right here. And that is right at 3,000 RPMs. I mean, the torque line actually dipped down lower than it was at stock or how the bike got here. You know, so we weren't super stoked on that. Like we definitely don't want to send it out that way. I talked with the customer and kind of explained what was going on and what we had. And those torque dips are just kind of a nature of the combination of parts, the air cleaners, cams, pipe combos. And sometimes you get them. You're gonna get them sometimes with an M8 and an exhaust that's super short, just doesn't have, you know, the flow characteristics that it should. So after talking to the customer, I ended up telling him, you know, I recommended that we try and put an insert in into the muffler, essentially, a tunable insert. It's got a little tang in it that you can bend up or down that kind of increases or decreases the amount of flow going by it. So we end up welding that into place. We want to thank our sponsors, the Law Tigers. The Law Tigers are motorcycle accident attorneys. Scott and his crew across the nation ride, and they understand our culture. If you've been in a motorcycle accident, the Law Tigers should be your first call.
Give us a call, we'd love to help you out.
And we brought that torque dip here on this chart here. You can see like the red line is after the insert. The blue line is with the big dip in it before the insert. So you can see like even in this area here, from here to here, that torque line, like we had, you know, 10 to 12 foot-pounds of torque increase, you know, between 3 and 3,500 RPM. So you can see that there's, you know, this chart here is like a pre-insert and after the insert comparison here. So the blue line is without the insert, the red line is with, and everywhere on the bottom end we have more torque. Now the flip side of that is that at about 4,500 it goes the other way, and we were making more horsepower and more torque without the insert on the top end. But in reality, like we've, you know, out on the street we spend very little time in that RPM range. We spend all of our time, you know, at 3,500 and below. That's kind of our cruising area. If you're kind of cruising along, you want to stab the throttle, like that's where you want all the power. So, you know, we did give up some on the top end. We did give up some peak numbers. And after I installed the insert, I had to retune it, kind of start over on the tune, because just throwing that insert in there like threw the tune way off. So I talked to the customer again after we installed the insert, retuned it, kind of explained to him like, you gained power down low, but you gave it up on the top end. Like, which, you know, where do you want your power? You know, my recommendation is you want it down low. A good running motorcycle has power where you're riding, in your RPM range that you're riding in most of the time. So we opted to leave it there as is. and out on the street, the bike rips, it pulls off the line really hard, feels great. And so just kind of some lessons, you know, to take away, like sometimes combinations of parts are not gonna work great together. They may need to be manipulated or modified or maybe even changed out. Maybe with this customer, we might go a different route down the road. He's pretty stoked with it, pretty happy with it. It's got good numbers and feels really great where he's riding at 2,500, 3,500 RPM. So kind of a cool little experiment here. We learned some stuff. We ended up picking up some good numbers. This chart here is, the red line is stock or stage 1 pipe and air cleaner, and then the blue line is final with the insert installed. You can see that we never lost any torque, where on this one is without the insert compared to stock. And right here, we actually lost 8 foot-pounds of torque at 3,000. So we definitely don't want to do all this work and lose torque right where we're riding it. That's not what we're after here. So kind of a fun little experiment project. Customer's super stoked on it. Hope you guys have learned a few things. As far as final numbers go, let's see. So finals with the insert, we're at 118 horse and 128 foot-pounds of torque. Final without the insert, we were actually at 120 and 126. So we did actually gain torque with the insert, but we gave up horsepower. We give it all up on the top end. I mean, we're not building drag bikes here where, you know, the top end only matters if you're going down the drag strip. I mean, yeah, it sounds fun on the dyno chart, but in reality, having that power in the rideable, you know, RPM range is where we want it. So, customer's super stoked. We're happy with it. That's the way we do it around here. I hope you guys have found this helpful and informative. If you have any questions, please drop them in the comments below and I'll hit you back. Thanks for watching.